Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Bean Turtle, and today I have for you the T-34-85, or should I say the T-34-85, or should I say the T-34-85, or the T-34-85, or the T-34. I think you get the point. So, there are a lot of these in the game. There are quite a few. I think it's like over 8 at this point because there's one even for the Finnish tech tree over here that I actually don't have yet, but they're all really good. They're all about the same, and they are all a lot of fun to play with. So, what I'm going to do today is give you all a bit of an overview of what to expect when you use this thing at the BR of 5.7, what the limitations are in terms of your armor. In some cases, the answer is pretty much everything. In other cases, though, you can actually find yourself surviving things you wouldn't expect. And then also go over the various tanks that you're going to have to learn how to deal with, such as like Panthers, Tigers, etc. Various US tanks that you're going to have to deal with, such as the Super Pershing or the T-34. Quick side note: I did a video on this one the first time. The first video was on the Super Pershing. If you want to go see that, that is going to be in the description. But you're going to have to figure out how to take this thing out with the T-34-85, and honestly, it's not that easy. But the point of this video is for me to help y'all out in how to destroy those tanks, how to survive, and how to use this thing, which is actually a quite fun vehicle. I hope this is helpful. Be sure to like and subscribe as it is. Let's get right into it. So first of all, we have the various variants of the T-34-85. The base T-34-85, which is this one, really doesn't have anything that special about it except for a couple of add-on armor tracks, which are these little things here, and they don't really do anything. All the extra add-on armor really isn't that big of a deal on all of them. See, it's only like 20 millimeters. It might help with a couple of things once in a blue moon, but for the most part, it won't do anything. Same thing with the T-34-85E, which is a rare vehicle that I picked up one of the victory days, whatever, a couple of years ago, I think. It has these little pieces of what look like bed meshes, effectively. But what these are is actually heat screens. So they add a couple of millimeters of protection against heat rounds, so high explosive anti-tank rounds, to detonate them further away from the tank. In practice, they don't really do anything, but occasionally these heat screens will do something, and they'll catch a round or two. So if you do end up picking this thing up, it's not really pay to win, but like it might help eventually. Is something, I don't know. It's really not that big of a deal, but it looks cool. And then the T-34-85 Partisan is actually on sale on the Gaijin market right now. Actually, if you didn't get it through the event, the Partisan is pretty much the exact same. It has these pieces of track armor here, but that's like literally the only difference between that one and I thought that one has it too. No, they all have it. Okay, well, it has nothing different from the others. So there's really nothing new on this one either. There's really nothing different with this one, except for, of course, I have this floating box because of a glitch with the new update, and I will leave this there forever because it's funny. The T-34-85 D5T just has a different gun, the D5T. Crazy, I know. And that's pretty much it. Like, there's literally no difference, and the ballistics between these two are honestly identical. They feel identical anyway, so don't worry too much about that. The rounds they carry slightly different, but for the most part, you guys get the same. This round is the same, which is what's important. The BR-365K is here. The BR-365K. You see, like that. Like the point is, you're going to be using this shell anyway, and that's it. The only one that's notably different is the T-34-85 Guy, which has a Dushka on the top, so 50 cal or a 12.7 millimeter. This makes this one really good, in my opinion, in comparison, because it's at the exact same BR, and you can use this to absolutely shred planes, and occasionally, if you're lucky, you can take out a light vehicle with it, but usually just planes is what this is for. Um, but if you're not playing, the Chinese tech tree, then, it really doesn't matter. And as of the Leviathans update, there's actually another T-34-85 that you can get right now, also for money. I think the total cost of the pack is like $30, which is pretty reasonable in my opinion because it comes with 3 vehicles. But there's this one, the T-34-85 45, so like 1945. This one actually kind of is, in my opinion, pay to win a little bit, because this extra armor here is only, it looks like it's not a lot, like only 10 millimeters. So from the side, it's not going to really do anything. Effective thickness is 5 or 6 millimeters from that angle. But if we look at the Tiger 1, for instance, so the Tiger E, there's actually some spots that this thing would not be able, that the Tiger would not be able to pen you on, that a normal Tiger would. So the extra armor does actually make a difference from some angles. Of course, if they shoot you down in the hull and stuff, it doesn't matter. But if they hit you on this piece of the turret here, this shot right here might actually pen a normal T-34-85, but the extra armor here actually kind of helps protect you. So this is a pretty hard place to hit anyway, because this is like a lot of armor plating here. But there's a non-zero chance that this T-34-85 actually kind of gives you a small advantage. Like, look at this, see? Just a little bit extra armor here. And then, of course, there are some overlapping plates, like right here, for instance. That's just the way that this is. Well, no, actually, it doesn't show like there is. So yeah, this really does give you like a lot of extra armor here. Surprisingly, on like this side here and like right here. So this one's kind of pay to winny. If that's important to you, then there you go. That helps a little bit. These little screens here, these are more heat screens. I wouldn't expect them to do too much for you. It might stop a PT-76 round from killing you once every 47 years, but like, that's not a big deal. That's the big deal here, is these plates up on the turret. And speaking of the armament of these tanks, since they're pretty much all the same, in terms of you're using the BR-365K shell, you have a couple of shell types. The D5T does not actually have APCR, but I don't use it anyway, to be honest. For whatever reason, the BR-365, which is the one that pens the best and does the most damage, is actually the default shell, so you don't even really need to waste time getting this one, even though this one has more explosive filler. I wouldn't trade off the 10 millimeters or 13 millimeters of penetration for the extra explosive filler. It's probably not that worth it, because this thing kills just fine without it. And of course, with the premiums, you get everything unlocked, but you also get APCR with the premium tanks, which allows you to go through slightly more armor than normal, closer to, say, like a 90 millimeter US tank in terms of penetration than actually the 85 normally would do. But I don't usually use APCR unless it's like an extreme last resort. Usually you can get away with only using APHE, and you'll take out pretty much everything. The ballistics on these guns are honestly pretty good. As I said, between the two, the D5T guns and the ZIS S53 guns, which is all the rest of them, the ballistics are really good and about the same. And so they're pretty easy for making guesstimate long-range shots, where you're saying like, oh, I think that's like 600 or so, and you're trying to hit those shots at range, like I do here in this clip. You won't have that big of a deal getting those kills, because it's got really, really good velocity for the shell. And that's great because, and on top of the really good velocity of the shell, it actually is extremely precise. Like, the gun dispersion is non-existent almost on these things, and so you see here that I hit a Panther twice within the smallest, the frame of the turret piece, which is the weak spot of the upper tier Panthers, as I'll talk about in a second. The gun is very accurate, precise at the same time, allowing for follow-up shots, sometimes at the exact point that you put the round beforehand, if you want to, so pretty nice in that regard. The speed overall of the tank is pretty good. Maximum forward speed is 55 kilometers an hour. Fun fact, the engineers, this is actually true, that the fifth gear of the T-34-85, you had to actually use a sledgehammer to get the transmission into gear, because it was not an automatic transmission. The engineer, or the driver had to effectively break his arm to do it. But of course, in War Thunder, you don't have to do that. It's just in real life, the engineers did not design this very well when the T-34 was made. But I just thought that was a funny thing to throw in. But that's actually not fiction. But it will go up to 55 kilometers an hour. Usually you'll sit around 30 or 40 pretty easily. It's pretty quick. And then reverse is pretty slow, but it's not like T-72 slow. It's a good reverse speed that it gets to instantly, effectively. So you'll be going full reverse speed at like pretty much instantly to take turns and stuff. It does not do neutral steering, which means it will not spin in place. You'll have to one track stops and the other one turns it. So it's faster to turn if you're driving forward and then turn, so you have a little bit of momentum instead of just turning in place. So that's just something I've learned over time. You can use the momentum to throw it around a corner a little bit. And then you have, even though it shows the whole machine gun, the whole machine gun does not exist. There is only this machine gun here. So you get this little 7.62 millimeter machine gun, which is useful. You can use it to kill AAs. You can use it to even kill planes if you can get the gun up high enough. But it's a coaxial, so it'll be attached to the gun effectively. Wherever you're aiming the gun is where the machine gun will aim. As I said, it's not useless. Don't forget about it. Like it's not a useless gun. You can use it to take down planes and stuff. But like for instance, if you're using the T-34-85 guy, just use the Dushka and you can take down planes that way. It's so much easier. But it also has the little 7.62 millimeter armor. Armor on T-34 is a little weird. Sometimes a enemy will put a round like right here and it'll do nothing and only take out your fuel tank. Other times it'll instantly kill your entire crew. It's kind of weird. So sometimes you have like near invulnerability from the side. And so it's kind of a stellinium thing. Other times, it just will kill you anyway. The front of the tank is a weak spot for the Tiger 2. Tiger 2H firing the most common shell, the PZGR 3943, can pen literally the entire face of the tank, like literally everything. And so be careful. Sometimes the driver's hatch will eat it, but that's kind of rare. Usually that'll happen and everyone dies. So just remember that a Tiger 2 is a deadly laser. And so that's not good. Don't let that happen to you to the extent that you can control it. And then the Tiger 1 also can pen the front of your tank as well, but it has a slightly harder time doing so. So there are little spots that it actually cannot pen from 500 meters. So, like the driver's hatch, again, the driver's hatch occasionally will eat a shell. And so if they put the round right there, you'll live. But if they put it anywhere else on the tank, effectively you die. I usually go for the turret because I always forget where to shoot these things, ironically. So the easiest place to hit them is effectively shoot for the optics, the gunner optics, and that should insta-kill it. But remember that effectively your front plate is a weak spot. If you angle it also, your entire tank is a weak spot as well. So remember that Tigers are scary. Tiger 1s are less scary than Tiger 2s, but they're still scary. The Panthers are the same thing. So like the Panther G here, with its 75 millimeter gun, will pen pretty much everything but the driver's hatch. So long as they miss and hit these things, you will be fine. But if they hit anything else, you will die in a horrible fire. But also stellinium seems to, what the heck, that would never happen in a normal game. But this is what's more likely to happen in a normal game is the round goes through the middle and kaboom. So keep that in mind. And if you're angled, it's probably the same. Yep, see, there you go. So armor is not incredible. And remember what I said about your armor not being incredible. Even the 76W Shermans will pen the front of you. So that's not good. So the jumbo is another thing that you will see a huge amount of. And the jumbo, the most common round you're going to see is the M61 shell, which is the basic, M4 Sherman round. And it will pen the turret. It will pen the turret ring of your tank, and it will pen, of course, the cupola of your tank. I refuse to call it cupola. I don't care what you say. Sue me. Also, machine gun port, but sometimes the machine gun eats the rounds, so, I don't know, that's inconsistent. But yeah, so that's much harder to do, though. They have to be much more precise to hit you, whereas, other tanks do not. But while your armor, it may seem like what I just went through is that your armor is terrible. It's really not. There are a lot of times where it looks like, you should be killed, and then you won't die. And there are also a lot of people who don't know how to deal with this thing, so they'll see it and they'll be like, and they'll try to figure out where to hit you. So that gives you an advantage sometimes. But a seasoned player will know to, they don't have, they're made of paper. So there's that. And if you get a good down tier, you will get to, survive quite a bit. Your armor's not useless, but for the most part, most things will actually pen you. But good news is you will actually be able to take out most things. So the first things I'm going to look at, I want to look at the more scary things that you'll probably see. For instance, this is a Tiger H, Tiger 2H. The normal spots don't really work here, unfortunately. So if we queue up any of the T-34s, sure, I'll just do the T-34-85E. Again, they're all the same. Protection map. That doesn't look very good, now does it? You can technically pen right here, but the machine gun often consumes the round like it did there. So the little hole machine gun will occasionally stop the round from going through. So that would be a very inconsistent shot. The cupola you could try, but it probably won't happen. Sometimes you'll get lucky and insta-gib the entire crew. Usually that's not going to happen. The only way you can really do it to take out one of these is from the side, which of course is made of paper in comparison. The easiest way to take a tiger out from the side also, by the way, is actually the hull of the tiger, so underneath the top of the hull. So like this area is more thick, but if you shoot down here from the side, you have less armor to cut through, if that makes sense. So if you're at an angle, you can do that. And then the insta-kill place to shoot, it says low, it's wrong. Put the round right there, and then Kaboom, that takes out the ready rack ammo. The smaller tank, the Porsche variant of the Tiger 2, is actually much easier to pen. The Porsche variant you can actually deal with from the front, and so you just put around through this. I would not go for this; it would probably fail. Remember, guys, sometimes protection analysis lies to you. So go for the areas that are clearly penable, like this, for instance, which is the turret cheek. This is where you hit the Tiger 2 mostly anyway on the Porsche variant Tiger, so you can hit that there, and you'll either kill most or all of the crew, or detonate an ammo or something, and that should take it out. And then again from the side, if you put a round through the side of the turret, instantly kaboom, ammo rack. The less scary but still very scary Tigers. The good news here is that you can destroy them. So the Tiger can angle and actually protect against your rounds, but you actually do have the opportunity to shoot the hull beneath if they do that. I usually don't do that. I usually don't do this because it's a difficult shot to make sure it works, but that will insta-kill the crew if you do that. If you can see just a little bit of the front, honestly, like they're not that angled to you, you could just hit the side right here. This will be an insta-kill for everything, and it might even detonate the ammo. Same thing on the other side. Might even insta-kill and detonate the ammo. What the heck? That would never happen in a real game. Sometimes protection analysis does that. That would never happen in a real game. And so that's insta-kill, but in no situation do you ever shoot here. And I include up here. Never shoot in this big box here, or here in this big box here. Do not ever touch that, because this will just randomly eat the round. This will randomly eat the round. Look at this. According to protection analysis, 500 millimeters of penetration of armor. That doesn't make sense. That would stop a Sabo round. That's ridiculous. That would never happen. But in this world, it would. So don't do that. And while you also technically could aim for the cupola, that's a really hard shot to make. But so I wouldn't do it. Even though you can do some damage that way, I would never aim for the cupola on this Tiger. This Tiger, however, the Tiger H1, has much less armor on this, and the cupola is much higher, so it's easier to hit. This is much easier to take out with the same tank. So put that there, and you can wipe out most of the turret crew. And so, if you can't see anything else, that's an easy hit. And then, of course, the armor here is the same. The armor profile is the same, so you could just put the round there like I showed before. And in a real game, that would insta-kill. I don't know why protection analysis is so weird. Panthers are a little different. All right, so Panthers This one is the lightest armor one. I'm pretty sure, other than the VK, which is lighter armored. This one you can actually pen through the turret, but I rarely aim here because I don't know the visual difference between this Panther and the other variants, except for the F variant, I think, which is the weird boxy one or the trapezoid looking one. But usually the easiest place to hit to take these Panthers out is these little squares here. So if we look at the um, so if we look here, right, you've got this plate, okay, which is the mantlet, and then we've got this plate, which I call the frame of the turret. That's not, I don't think, the correct term for it, but this is the easiest place to hit a Panther because this part of the turret is exposed, whereas this has double armor here. You see that? Double armor. So the easiest place to hit a Panther with the tank is right there. Even though you can penetrate this one, you'll do more damage this way, and that wipes the turret crew. And then you just hit it again later, and it kills it instantly. Um, with this Panther in particular, you can put it through what looks like the gunner sight in that area, but that does less damage. And then over here, you can hit this side as well. You can hit both sides of the turret, and that takes out the turret drive, interestingly enough. Also, with this Panther, you can hit the cupola, kaboom, and give a lobotomy to the commander. And I would not try to do this, but you could apparently do this according to the game. Whether or not that'll happen in a real game, who knows? But probably not. Now, the other Panthers, this one's 5.3 because the armor's not as good. The G variant Panther or the A variant, let's do the A variant first. The A variant's thicker, has much thicker armor. Again, you could technically probably go through right here, but I wouldn't really try that. That looks really hard. I usually just hit this, which is a tiny spot, yes, but it is very easy to do that if they're looking at you. And then, yeah, this is also available on this variant. But on some variants of the Panther, you can't actually do that. Panther G, you can apparently also pen this, so maybe I've been wrong this whole time, but you see how inconsistent it is, in my opinion. Like, if you put the round slightly too far off to the side, the round just may not go through for some reason. So I wouldn't tempt fate, is kind of what I'm saying, and I would try to hit this. And then sometimes latency can happen. Like, occasionally you'll put a round right here, and it'll be like, oh no, you hit the barrel, and you didn't, right? So sometimes tempting fate is not the best idea, whereas you could just hit this and kill the Panther instantly, or something like, well, what the beep words? Again, protection analysis does things that are weird. Okay, that was working literally a second ago. What the heck? That's hilarious. But yeah, I've killed so many Panthers like this, so like I'm not lying to y'all. And of course, you've got the cupola, and then the Panther F. Panther F is also you can actually take out. It says you can't. That's weird. The Panther F, the whole front plate is actually too thick for you to easily pen it. It might go through if you're lucky from 500 meters, which is pretty average for engagement range. But it's easier just to aim for this, and um, so so the Panther F is actually thick enough that you can't actually consistently pen all of this. Maybe once in a blue moon, according to the game, it'll go through here. And then maybe, let's see, at point blank range, will it go through easily? Yeah, point blank range or like 200 meters, it'll pen that front plate. But for the most part, you're gonna want to go for this for the more consistent kill. And then it should wipe the entire tank. I don't know why protection analysis is weird, but that's what you would look at. This Panther's a little bit scary because it's more inconsistent in terms of taking it out. Um, yeah, apparently I've been crazy this whole time. I didn't have to go for that little tiny weak spot, but I would not trust the game being goofy to go for this shot instead of just taking the one that I know works every single time. What if you see a Yag Tiger? Scream. That's pretty much it. That's all you can do. No, I mean, you can try. Like, you can try to go through the machine gun port, but like, I don't know, the chances of hitting this little tiny thing before he glasses you with his cannon would be a little scary. I don't know if I'd want to chance that. And there's nothing else you could pen on the entire tank from the front. So Yeah, I would be careful with that. Track, barrel, kill. That's what I would do, honestly. Okay, let's graduate on to the United States. So, this is the Jumbo Sherman. So we've got the Jumbo Sherman. You'll see a lot of these. This is kind of where at 5.7 you'll have to know your Shermans. You've got the Jumbo Sherman. You've got the T1E1, which is at least visually distinct. You've got the not Jumbo Sherman, which the camo got messed up in the update, which is kind of weird, but it's supposed to be a big star here, but it's gone. Um, but the big Sherman, you've got the Jumbo, and then you've got other Shermans as well, right? And then you've got this circular Sherman. See if I can show you the circular Sherman. There you go. It's not circular; it just looks weird, right? Rounded. Um, you can pen this anywhere in the front. Don't shoot the armor front plate. You will not pen this plate here. But if you shoot literally any other part of the Sherman, it dies. Same thing with this 5.7 Sherman. Hit literally anywhere on the front, and you will pen it. Except do not hit the turret mantlet. It will not actually penetrate in most places. It's much easier just to hit the front of it and go through. The jumbos, however, you have to aim for the weak spot. So jumbo, um, it'll say you can do stuff here, which is weird and wrong. See, like no, that's not gonna pen. And if this pens in a real game, if that happens in a real game, buy a lottery ticket, okay? Because that's just not gonna happen ever. Neither are you going to ever go through that. That's just not how that works. You might get lucky and do this, and it might detonate in the right place and kill the crew. I doubt it, but maybe. I don't know. The more consistent place that you can hit from pretty much any angle, though, is right here, which is through this little machine gun port, and everyone is unhealthy. Even from an angle, it might show that you can pen through here, but you probably shouldn't be able to at all. But you can try that and probably fail, or you can shoot the machine gun port, and so there you go. And you do that until the thing falls over. Do remember though that he can pen you. Worst case scenario, you're staring down the barrel of an 120 millimeter T-34 gun, T-34 that happens to not be friendly. This T-34, you really can't pen it very much, except for, interestingly enough, the frame of the machine gun, not the machine gun itself. That's kind of weird. And then you have these little spots on the side. So you can try to do that, try to put around through the lower front plate, the sides of the lower front plate anyway, and that should insta kill or at least disable the tank. Put that there, right? Should insta kill or disable, or at least take out the driver, I guess. Otherwise, track, barrel, boom. It says the side armor here is too thick, but I don't think that's true in game. I don't think that would ever happen in game that you wouldn't pen that equivalent protection of 5 millimeters. That's not right. That's weird. Apparently, you can only hit the hull. I don't know that I believe that though. That's weird. I don't think that's ever happened in a game. And then there is, of course, the moonshot that you could try to take, which is to hit the cupola. And if you hit it, it works. Good job. If it doesn't, rest in peace. Um, there's that. All right. And then there's the T-26-E1, the Super Pershing, is another scary. Oddly enough, very similar spots, but I wouldn't try it at 500 meters. You have this is just like a little piece of armor. This is the vertical cannon drive because it's actually fully exposed on the outside of the armor. You can kill it with a machine gun. The only place that you can kill it is the machine gun port from the front. And then if you get slightly to the side, you can actually pen through the side of the turret here. And that's the ammo right there. So if you're looking at the thing, the ammo is right here. So you want to get slightly to the side of it, and you can put a round through, and it'll take out the ammo, and you win, and you're nice and happy. This one also is thin enough that you can just pen it like that, and ammo, gunner, etc., but that should insta-kill it anyway. And then a last one that some people sometimes have problems with is the T1E1 variants. So this is the T1E1 90 because it has a 90 millimeter. Crazy how Convenient that is. Uh, but these actually are made of paper. They're a heavy tank in name only. Honestly, I find it funny that they class it as a heavy tank, other than the fact that the U.S. classed it as a heavy tank. Because the thing is literally, I think it has less armor in some places than like the M24. So, pretty much literally anywhere in the entire tank, just shoot the thing and it dies. Um, Including the turret, though the turret is more Gaijin-y than actually just shooting the whole of it. If you shoot the hole, kaboom. Shoot the hole here, boom, he's dead. So it's pretty simple to go through that and take that one out. And it's easier to do also from a distance because it's just the thing's the size of a barn, so it really doesn't matter where you hit it. And then honorable mention that you'll see a couple of these. You'll see these variants of the M10, M36, whatever gun motor carriage. These things. If you can pen them pretty much from anywhere from the front, but if you happen to like miss or something, it's guaranteed to insta kill if you just use a high explosive shell. So I'm going to back out of this to get that green out of the way. There's a high explosive shell. It says no penetration, but it'll insta kill everything. So there you go. All of these M10s that are open top, every open top vehicle in the game, M18s, M10s, M36s, all of them. If you hit them with an HE shell, pretty much anywhere, actually, it'll overpressure and kill everyone. So that's a little trick you can use if you don't know what you're fighting. If you see it's open top, you can just obliterate it with an HE shell. I always recommend carrying like a couple of them. I carry like 5, so I'll do like 25 or 30 of these, and then like 5 of these and like 2 of these. That's usually what I carry. And so that way also you don't have full ammo when they obliterate you. And so if a round goes through here and doesn't insta kill your entire crew, there will be less ammo here if you don't carry everything. It's a little survivability tip, especially when this thing is made of paper. And a couple of lineups you can actually do. I think I'll add that to this segment as well, to these videos as well. The T-34-85s, of course, you can run a bunch of them like I do because I'm a psychopath. Your average player may not have all 4 of them, and if you do, you're lucky. Congratulations. This one comes on sale every once in a while, so you might be able to pick this up from the Gaijin store, but it'll cost real money, which is unfortunate. This one's like $13 right now, so that's again real money. But these 2 are free in the Russian tech tree, and of course these 2 are free in the Chinese tech tree. So you can get these, for instance, and play with them and such. But on the Soviet lineup, I have these 4 together because it's funny. You can also use the IS-1 with the D5T cannon, so it's literally this thing's gun on an IS-1. You can up tier the PT-76, which actually has a pretty good heat shell, pretty fun, 200 millimeters of penetration, which can go through the turrets of Tigers and stuff. This is the highest BR AA, but it's pretty good. It shreds aircraft, so you can use that one. Of course, with it, the BTR 152 as an AA. And then for planes and stuff, you of course can have the P-8 with its 5,000 kilogram and wipe the floor with people. I've been using the Yak 9K because there's probably a nice little place in a certain hot place for me after using it, because you can pen tanks from orbit with it. 76 millimeters of penetration with this armor belt. The roofs of Shermans are really thin, so you can just put rounds through them. You get 30 rounds, and if you're very accurate, you can take out tank after tank with just the cannon of this thing. No need for bombs, no need for anything like that. The TU2s are pretty good. TU2S, TU2S44, etc., whatever. These are pretty good. They have 3 Fab 1,000 kilograms. These are like 2,000 pound bombs. So, like the things the F-16s carry in this game, you can carry 3 of these, and then the guns are all right on it. So the TU2 is also a good one that you can play with, and it's pretty fun to fly those planes around. But the most fun one, honestly, is the PE-8, because this thing is so goofy. Like, once you drop the bomb, you can, like, have the thing do cobras and stuff. It's so stupid. The turrets are unfair. like the 20 millimeters or whatever, will just slash kill planes. You can go land and get another one to drop more chaos on the enemy. Just look at the size of that thing. But yeah, so that's what I have for y'all today on the T-34-85. The next one I'll be talking about is probably the Tiger 2H because that's something that I've used a lot and it's a lot of fun. So I'll talk about how to do this thing, how to use the armor, how to take out what you see, and that kind of thing. And if you want to see that, be sure to like and subscribe. If this was useful, be sure to like and subscribe. And I hope that you all have a great day and stay safe. Peace.